Howdy, howdy, everybody. This is Colin back at it again after over a year with episode 37 of A New Direction, the podcast where I talk about literally anything. And I know a lot of y'all are probably wondering where I've been, and we'll get to that. With that being said, that is not a guarantee that I will be any more consistent with my uploading because I think I've proven my track record. But we will just have to see about that. With that being said, the music recommendation, we're going to get right into it. I will be recommending You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose, my album of the year right now. It is absolutely phenomenal. Truly, I would give it like low key, like a 10 out of 10. I know a lot of people say it's not their best work, but I mean, it is just such a phenomenal album. From the very beginning all the way to the end. I mean, you go from Thirst all the way to Sit and Mourn, and every track is just brutal, evil, like just it just beats you over the head. I mean, Piece by Piece, Suffocate, um, Don't Reach for Me is probably like the highlight, one of the highlights. Slaughterhouse 2, whole album is phenomenal. I mean, if you're big into heavier music, I highly recommend giving this album a go and checking out Knocked Loose. Knocked Loose's the rest of their discography because it is all just really really good stuff, and they're a really cool group of dudes from Kentucky who just make phenomenal music and are playing on a huge stage. They have really broken the boundary of metal music as far as like a commercial sense, as far as a commercial sense is concerned. So I would highly recommend this album, and like I said, it is my album of the year so far this year. Now, I mean, that could change. There's some other good albums that have come out pretty recently. Candy just dropped in It's Inside You, I believe is the name of the album, and it's really, really good so far. I just listened to it for the first time today. Gonna have to give it some more goings over before I give it a full rec, but so far it's really promising. With that being said, however, we're going to get right into where I've been because I believe the last episode was like May 2023, which is crazy to think that that much time has passed. I know that I was talking about how I was going to get real consistent with the uploads. I did some movie reviews and stuff, which is something I should probably get back into. I just haven't watched a lot of movies here lately. I watched Tarot the other day, last night. It was Tarot got a really bad critical rap, and for a good reason. It is not a good movie. It is objectively bad. The plot is just all over the place, in shambles, cliche after cliche, jump scares. It is just a fest of just bad idea after idea after idea. But it's so bad that it's actually kind of enjoyable to watch. So, mini review. Tarot, go watch it. It's on Netflix. Just don't comment and tell me you hate it because I told you it was worth watching because it still sucks. But yeah, where I've been. A lot has happened since May 2023. I worked a whole another job. I worked 1 year at a job before getting into the job I'm in now, which is hopefully like my career. I've gotten into IT now, which is what I really wanted to do from the start. And I've got a good job, state benefits, and I'm killing it right now as far as the career moves are going. I'm really happy with how everything's worked out, and I'm feeling pretty confident about IT as a career, so I can say that much. But yeah, I just really haven't had a whole lot of time for the whole YouTube thing, to be honest. It's been a lot of stuff going on with working full time, and I was finishing up school at the end of 2023. So I got my associate's degree, and now I'm actually back in school getting my bachelor's. I've got about a year left, and then I'll have a bachelor's degree. I'm doing all that online as well. So it's there's a lot going on. Your 20s. They say your 20s is supposed to be like the most fun time of your life, and so far for me, it's been the busiest time of my life. But that's not such a bad thing. I'm definitely getting it all knocked out kind of early, doing the right things from a young age to set myself up good for the future, which I think is something that a lot of people my age don't really consider. But yeah, I really haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and record videos, and this one is just really off the cuff. I had to record a little face cam introduction for one of my classes today, and I was just like, why not do an episode of A New Direction. This one might be a bit on the shorter side because, like I said, I really have just done this off the cuff, but I think it's well overdue. But yeah, I mean, that's really, as far as where I've been, that's about all I can really say. I just have really neglected YouTube. It would be something that I would really like to get back into doing, especially if I could turn it into like a side hustle maybe. But at this point, that's not looking promising, and that's okay. I do it for the fun of it because I enjoy making videos and I love talking, and it's a good way for me to get my thoughts out there in a way that's mayhaps a little more enjoyable to somebody who stumbles upon it. But yeah, I mean, as far as where I've been, that's really all I gotta say. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna be very consistent with this, but I would like to get back into it a little bit here and there. What else can I talk about? How about 5th gen Camaros? This is something I've talked about probably before. It's been so long I can't remember, but I'm actually in the market to buy one. I'm looking to get maybe a 2015 under the condition that it lowers my payment from what I'm currently paying for my car. I went and test drove one this past weekend, and I fell in love with it. Stick shift, of course, as I've talked so much about. But they're fun. It's like driving a tank. They're real hunkered down, and the visibility sucks, but they're raw. Like, it's a very raw driving experience. I don't remember. I had the 5.0 when I did the last episode? Yeah, I got rid of that 5.0 when I started working full time up in the big major city near mine. I almost slipped up there, but yeah, I got rid of that car and got a Jetta GLI. So I've been without a V8 now for well over a year. I miss that car, but the 5th gen reminded me a lot of the gray New Edge Mustang GT that I had, a Goose, that I'm sure I talked about that on this podcast. But it reminded me a lot of that, just a lot heavier and faster, and more fun, might I add. It's got a very raw feeling, and I've really just been converted to a Chevy guy, to be honest. I think that they make killer cars, at least back in the day. They killed the Camaro. Not a huge fan of the C8 Corvette. And I'm not a big truck guy, so I mean, their trucks don't really do anything for me. So, but back in the day, like up through like 2020, well, yeah, 2020, they were killing it. They had the 5th and 6th gen Camaros were both phenomenal. The C6 was like the best Corvette ever made, in my opinion. The Z06 and ZR1. The C7 was a phenomenal car. They were pumping out some really killer performance cars. I mean, you had the ZL1, and then the C7, Z06, and ZR1 was just crazy. I think that era of cars is definitely gone, but the 5th gen is truly a fun car to drive. I really enjoyed my test drive, and I low-key, I was thinking about maybe trying to get that car, but we were just too far apart on numbers. There was no way I was going to be able to get it where it needed to be. So, the search mayhaps continues. It's not something I'm really like hugely in a rush about, but if the right car pops up and, like I said, I can get my payments lower, then I'll jump on it, because I mean, they're sweet, and my commute now to my current job is literally like 2 minutes. I literally could almost walk there, so for me to be able to maybe get another fun car would be sweet. 5th gen Camaros, recommend driving one if you haven't. 6th gen Camaros, I have not driven an SS, but I would also recommend those cars. And 6th gen could be the move, low-key, because I could probably get a bit better financing, at least term-wise, on that. So, who knows? We'll see about that. What else could I talk about? Video games. I haven't really played a lot of video games here lately. I was playing Ready or Not there for a little while, which is still a good game. Played some BattleBit when that first came out. After that, well, I don't really think I played much. Battlefield 1. I played a good bit of Battlefield 1. Me and my good buddy Dylan were playing Battlefield 1 multiplayer there for a little bit. The Switch 2 is coming out next year, apparently. I heard something about that, and apparently it's supposed to be a bit of a performance increase over the current Switch, which I heard was kind of underpowered when it came out. My girlfriend has a Switch, and she loves it. I think that it's a really cool console, and if it went so late in the life cycle, I would low-key probably pick one up. But with Switch 2 coming out, I will probably be looking to get one of those instead. I also wouldn't mind getting a Steam Deck either, because I think the Steam Deck is a awesome piece of hardware, especially the OLED models. I think they kind of, shit all over anything that other competitors are putting out. I mean, I know people talk about the ROG, the Legion Go. I know MSI has their own version, but I think the Deck does it the best. I know people say, it's kind of locked into Valve's kind of ecosystem with the Linux, Steam OS, but I mean, you can jailbreak it and play other games on there, EA Play and Xbox Game Pass and all that. You can get all that on there. But for me, like, all my games are on Steam anyway. I don't even pay for Game Pass or EA Play anymore, so I think it would be perfect for me to really. Oh, the cat's coming to say hello. I think it would be perfect for me to kind of play on the go, because I really don't have a lot of time to sit down and really play video games anymore. So having a portable handheld could be useful. And that's another reason why the Switch is so enticing to me, because I could dock it to my TV and play it on the big screen if I want to, or I could just lay in my bed and play, and it would be a great kind of balance. But yeah, video games, like I said, I haven't really been playing a lot, and that's probably not going to change. I'm really not a gamer like I used to be. Back when I first started this podcast, I was playing a lot of video games. And prior to that, high school and middle school, I mean, I was playing a lot of video games. Counter-Strike, oh, I used to tear it up. I tore it up, guys. I was buying skins, knives. I mean, I was doing prolific trading and stuff. Like, I was invested in that ecosystem. And I have not been in a hot minute now. But, video games just don't really do it for me like that anymore. And I mean, that's not to say anything good hasn't come out, because, my brother, he's been playing Rocksmith. They come out with a new Rocksmith, and he got on the PlayStation 5, and it's awesome. But I don't know. Must be something in my brain. I just can't sit down and play them like I used to. Now, I mean, that is to say, like when me and Dylan play, or me and anybody else play, like we sit down and plan it out and decide to play a game. Like, I have a great time, but just to sit down and play a video game on my own solo, I don't really do that anymore. Which, I don't know. I guess it's like I said, I've been busy. Got school, got work, got other stuff going on. So I guess it's just not something I've really invested a lot of time into. Something to think about for sure. But yeah, I mean, I guess, I usually do 4 topics for these, right? So I guess the last thing I'll talk about would be music, cool music. I dropped the Knocked Loose recommendation here at the beginning. As always, I'm still listening to Mayhem, huge black metal fan, Leviathan. Let's see what else. There's a band called Hell that's really good. It's kind of like a Mizmor, dark, gloomy doom, kind of blackened doom project. It's phenomenal. Highly recommend that. Swans, big fan of Swans. Me and Connor went and saw them live back in when was that? April? I want to say it was April. Shoot, the cat's getting invested over there. I'm sorry for the background if you can hear her tearing it up over there. But yeah, Swans, phenomenal. To Be Kind, an incredible album. What are you doing? She's back there tearing it up, y'all. But yeah, To Be Kind is a phenomenal album. Let's see. Let's pull up the Apple Music here and see. Let's see. I think that my most listened this year has still probably been De Mysteries by Mayhem. But yeah, I mean, we got Knocked Loose, we got Swans, we got Artificial Brain, Black Sheep Wall, Admiral Angry, which, speaking of Admiral Angry, if y'all have not heard of this band, go listen to Buster. It's an incredible album if you're into heavy, sludgy music. But they currently still have limited edition box sets available on silentpendulumrecords.com. Not sponsored, none of that. I'm plugging this because y'all have got to go support this band. They have got box sets available. The reissue of Buster and the first ever vinyl pressings, period, of Albania and 9/11 But Only Worse, which is their other kind of controversially named album. What are you doing back there, bruh? She's sitting back there tearing something up. You see her back in the doorway, her eyes glinting or whatever. But yeah, go buy the box sets because they deserve all the support in the world. There's an incredible group of people. Black Sheep Wall are the remaining members of Admiral Angry that are still around. They continue on making crazy sludgy music as Black Sheepwall. Songs for the Enamel Queen, phenomenal album. Go listen to it. Um, yeah, had to plug Buster, but let's see what else we got here. Um, Blood Incantation, incredible band. Abigail Williams, their recent album "Walk Beyond the Dark" is a really, I mean, granted it's 5 years old now, but it's a really good album. If y'all notice, I am a big black metal fan, but let's see, it's Johnny Cash, guys. You know, Johnny Cash, he's got some really good songs. I think that Daddy Sang Bass is probably my favorite Johnny Cash song, which might be a hot take, but something about that song, it just like touches my soul. Like it's so well sung and touching. Like it's just a touching song. I don't know. I recommend that one. The Inalienable Dreamless by Discordance Axis, a really good grindcore album. Go listen to that. We got Zaster. Zaster makes awesome solo black metal. Go listen to this stuff, y'all. You know, and like I said, I'm a big black metal guy, but I really think that there are some really awesome and talented bands and musicians dropping music in this day and age, so it is worth going to check them out. I think that you know, the music industry, you know, there's a lot of big players in it now. And I mean, record labels and stuff have always been big, but you know, go support local music and local artists. You know, go to your local shows, house shows, local venues. Go support those people, because you know, being in a local band myself and writing my own music that I try to perform when the gig works out. There's a story there for next time. But you know, being in that, you know, scene, I mean, support those people, man. They're putting in work. They're writing music and doing all this stuff. Like, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I've written an album and recorded the music for an album and still have not written the lyrics or tracked the vocals or anything yet for it. But, you know, it's been a year. Well, not quite a year. I started in February, but, you know, it's coming up on a year here, and I'm not so sure it's going to be done by then. And, you know, shout out Buried Asunder, my project. The song is called A Sinister Sneer. There is one single out right now. Go listen to it. Me and Connor together, I did the instruments and all the songwriting, and Connor performed the vocals. So go give it a listen if you're inclined, and also be on the lookout for Acid's newest album coming out this year. It's fire. Yeah, music is one of those things I could really talk about forever, but you know, in order to make sure that y'all don't get too bored, I should probably do at least one more recommendation. Let's see what we got. There's too many. I mean, I listen to a lot of music, so I think it can be challenging for me to really give something to recommend here. I would say go listen to, what is this album? The Living is Easy EP by Agriculture. Agriculture is a really awesome, they call themselves like eclectic or ecstatic black metal. They're based out of California, I believe. Go support them. Their music is awesome. Living is Easy has literally the opening track. Is it Living is Easy? I think. Yes. Literally has one of the most beautiful sections in it that I have ever heard in almost any song, low-key. Like, it's just a very swingy, blast-beated, swingy, like, Celtic, I don't know how to describe it, but it's beautiful. Go listen to it. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, that kind of covers probably this episode. I know this has been a very off-the-cuff, kind of chaotic podcast, but, you know, I figured I at least owed it to y'all to release something this year, because it has been a minute since I have dropped any YouTube content. And it's like I said, you know, it'd be something I really like to get back into if I can really find the time and commitment to be consistent with it. But, you know, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I think that a new direction is definitely not dead, and it's going to be around for a while in some form or fashion. It has to be at this point, because every time I upload a video, it's usually another year later. So, I mean, we're going on like 3 years of this podcast in October, which is kind of crazy to think about, and we're still only at 37 episodes, so that speaks volumes. But Yeah, I mean, if y'all have any topics y'all want me to talk about, drop them in the comments. I think one of the reasons I kind of stopped doing all the uploads and everything was because I kind of ran out of things to talk about, and I guess I lost a little bit of motivation there. So drop some suggestions in the comments. I'll be more than happy to discuss anything, as long as it's not crazy controversial and will get me kicked off the internet or anything like that for what have you reason. But anything cool, music, movies, video games, cars, anything like that, I would be happy to talk about. So drop some suggestions. I guess to end it off, I've been Colin. This has been A New Direction, and I hope to see you next time, whenever that may be. Peace.